So, this is the eighth and final episode of Off Campus, and this is the end of what was a very fun ride. Actually, that's not true. This is the beginning of the end of what was a very fun ride. Um, let's start. So, the episode starts with Hannah at the diner. She and Garrett have broken up, right? And she tries to serve a table of hockey players, and they're like, "Oh, can we get like a different waiter?" And she goes, "Huh? Why?" And then they're like, "No, we all have girlfriends, all of us. Like, yeah. In fact, we're not even really like talking to you." And literally, I thought that like maybe they were Delaney's teammates and they like tried to ice her out or something. And then I don't know what, but we find out that it's rooted in like something Garrett did. And so Hannah sprints to like the hockey team's locker room. And what is the age rating for this episode? Because this was a banana show. And I remember like she walks into the boys' locker rooms and like bananas. They zoomed in on everything. They zoomed in and I was like, what? Because I'm like, you can show us that, but you can't show us a proper fist fight. We saw multiple, we saw solos, we saw zoomed up, we saw different shades and sizes and colors. I was like, okay, what is this? And then Hannah basically is like, there's a school-wide hands-off policy on me. What did you do, Garrett? And Garrett just shows up like, nothing. I didn't do anything. I would never do that to you. Like, why would I ever issue a school-wide handoff policy? And basically, guess who's at the root of this policy? Guess. My goofy golden retriever king, Dean. I think he told somebody like, oh, Garrett will lose his shit if somebody dates Hannah. And everybody saw Garrett beat up Delaney and thought, I don't want that kind of problem. So everybody was just like, don't touch Hannah, bro. Don't touch Hannah. And can I just say, I saw online that people were really upset about the like hands-off policy. Some people are like, it's not possessive, it's just like Garrett's very confident and he knows that Hannah doesn't want to break up with him. So like that's why he did it. Other people are like, Hannah's literal trauma is being turned into a social pariah and telling everybody not to associate with her. So doing a school-wide handoff policy would be just reenacting her trauma. So there's a lot of like discourse on whether or not Garrett should have issued the school-wide hands-off policy. You can tell me where you land, but for me, I kind of like how he didn't issue it, but it kind of accidentally happened. You know what I mean? Because it's like there's still the audacity of it, but then we don't have to actually sit down and critically analyze the implications of someone doing something that possessive. You know what I mean? So I was like, that's a nice workaround. That is a nice workaround. And once again, we say thank you to my iconic golden retriever king, Dean De Laurent. I found out I couldn't say his name. Dean De Laurentiis for being at the root of it. Also, side note, Garrett looks damn fine in a suit. Like, there's not a single unattractive person in this cast. I'm jealous. Oh, I have a note that like Jules posting about like Garrett and Hannah's breakup is so crazy to me because they are like a gossip site where they're gossiping about like the people closest to them. Like Jules considers Garrett like a brother. And you see your brother going through heartbreak and you're like, "Ooh, I got to make content out of this. I got to post this everywhere for people to know about on my personal gossip site for no reason." Jules, I love you. Take therapy. But at the same time, I like that all the hockey players are like, Jules is a gossip. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I like that they're like, Jules is a gossip, but we still like them. So just be wary about them. Just be wary around them. You know what I mean? I don't know. So, anyway, we see Garrett go in front of the tribunal to determine his punishment for attacking Aaron Delaney. And I don't actually understand what his punishment was, because they said that because he practiced skating with the Bruins, he was not quali- he was not like the Briar U team, their hockey team had an ineligible player on their team because he's not allowed to be professional. I did not understand the logic of that, if I'm being honest. Like I didn't not that it wasn't logical, I just didn't understand like what they were saying. I don't know if they kicked him off the team, but they said that he's not allowed to play for the rest of the season maybe. And then all the like wins that Garrett had contributed to playing was canceled. So then the Briar U hockey team went from having all wins and a couple of ties to like zero and being at the bottom of the league. You see how like it's becoming clear that I don't know hockey and I don't care about hockey. And anyway, that's not really the point, but basically the Briar U hockey team is in a precarious situation right now. And Garrett's coach is like, I don't want to coach you if you're gonna be angry and like malicious. Like, I don't want to coach you if you're gonna play hockey to, to be violent. Like, do you play hockey because you love it? And Garrett has to actually consider like, does he love hockey? And oh my gosh, I was like, is Garrett gonna quit hockey? Are they gonna kick Garrett off the team? Like, there's no way, because that's such a huge part of his personality. Like, is he gonna quit it? But yeah, so we don't yet know like if Garrett loves hockey and if he's like off the team. I don't know what's gonna happen there. But like Garrett meets John Logan, and John Logan is over Garrett's BS, and he's rightly so too. Because Garrett is the reason they're now like dead last in the conference, and he's just like, John Logan's like, bro, I'm over you. Stop talking to me. I don't want to deal with you anymore. And I was like, yes, my king. But also, yeah, no, actually no. Yes, my king, because like John Logan has tried so hard to listen to Garrett, and Garrett has literally thrown it into his face the entire time. So I was like, that's fair. Oh, okay. So Allie and Hannah have a convo, and we're back to this thing of Allie being like, "Oh, I'm too much of a boyfriend person. I want to have flings," which just I'm sorry, but it doesn't seem like a real problem to me. So I can't even like process it or take it seriously, because she's just like, "Oh, I date people too much. I have to have flings." I'm like, what do you gain out of having more flings? Like if you want to be like, oh, I want to be alone for a bit to like just focus on myself, I would get that. But to be like, oh, I don't want to be with a boyfriend, I just want to hook up with a bunch of random people, not because I'm particularly interested in hooking up with a bunch of random people, just because somebody said I get into relationships too easily. So what if you get into relationships too easily, or like, so what if you're more of a boyfriend person? Like, being a boyfriend person is not worse than being a fling person, and being a fling person is not worse than being a boyfriend person. It's, you know what I think it is? It's like being like, you like oranges, and then somebody goes, "Oh, you're too much of an orange person." So you're like, "Now I have to eat apples. I have to eat apples." And you're like, "Do you like apples? Who cares? I just don't want to be an orange person." You know what I mean? Like, it sounds ridiculous. So Allie climbs through Dean's window, which again, iconic, iconic. And she's like, "We gotta see other people. Like, we gotta get down and do the dance with no pants with other people, just for the just for the heck of it." And and Dean was like, "Ooh, I like it." It's like sexy homework. I'm not saying that on YouTube. And so they're both like, "Okay, yeah, we'll get with other people." Allie gets with the guy from the bar. His name is Hunter Davenport, I think. Yeah. So we go back to depressed Garrett, and Garrett's thinking about quitting hockey because he's genuinely pondering that question, like, do I really love hockey? Like, why am I playing this sport? For me, I was like, dude, you're so talented in hockey. Just go through your Zuko era and find like a different driving force. Like, you know how Zuko's, when he was like firebending, he was like, ugh, I gotta capture the avatar. And that was like his rage and his desire to capture the avatar was his whole driving force. And then when he stopped being crazy, he could no longer firebend. He didn't quit firebending. He found a new driving force. So I was like, please, Garrett, just find a new driving force. So John Logan and Garrett, I guess, meet up to talk, and John Logan's still kind of being stubborn and still being pissed at Garrett. And I was like, that's so valid because he needs this. Like all the other people in his life are so stubborn and they're messing up his chances at like being a professional hockey player and playing for the Bruins. So I was like, you know what, John Logan, you're super valid for still being stubborn. But then he's still a good person because even after how messy Garrett was to him, he still sat there and listened to Garrett explain why he did what he did. And I was like, oh my god, John Logan, they could never make me hate you. My note is like John Logan being Garrett's new Hannah, being his emotional support person and listening to him go through his trauma. And I was like, yes. Also, one thing is that like punching one person who said the vilest thing to you does not make you a violent person, does it? Like, because I'm like, if I feel like no jury would convict Garrett of being a bad person if they knew what Aaron Delaney said to him. Okay, so anyway, Garrett is like really he's I don't know if he's off the team, but he's still not allowed to play. At least he has a 4 game suspension, but then I don't know if he's allowed to play once his 4 game suspension runs out. But anyway, the hockey team um they need basically a new person to take up Garrett's spot, and also because another one of the hockey players was also injured, right? So they're looking for a new person. The new person they're looking for, I think, is Hunter Davenport. Dean is like, I hate Hunter Davenport. You can't have him here. No, no, no. Don't bring Hunter Davenport here. And we're like, oh, okay. So basically, the hockey team is in a bit of a crisis and they're at the hockey rink in the locker room and their coach is giving them a speech and then Garrett comes and Garrett gives a speech. And one of my notes is Garrett really was a bad captain because he wasn't there for his friend when that dude got laid out and he was still being broody. But then he goes, I thought that being a captain meant doing it all. I think Garrett like also realized that maybe he isn't currently the best captain. So he stops being the captain and he gives John Logan like the captain patch. And I was like, having that much self awareness to be like, I can't be here for you. Like, I can't be here to lead my team right now. I think you're in a better sport to lead my team. Like, Garrett, they can never make me hate you. I will always be there to support you and make excuses and, like, I love you. But yeah, so Garrett does love hockey. He's not quitting. I don't really know. Like maybe he's coming back to the hockey team after his 4 game suspension. Maybe he's playing for them next year. I'm not really sure. But either way, Garrett and hockey are like 1 and 2. And Allie gets with the St. Clair dude, and she accomplishes what she wanted, which was a fling. I don't really know what benefit that has, but again, when you're in your 20s, stuff doesn't really have to make sense. You can just do stuff because it makes sense to only you. Oh, okay, so we come back to like I think it's like the recital, like that was what or like the competition, that was why Hannah had to be like worried about writing songs the whole time. And before she dropped out, like she dropped out of the competition, but then she came back and she's like, I want to be in the competition and she wants to sing. And at first I was like, oh Hannah, not with your goofy lyrics, but this one wasn't bad. Like the song wasn't bad. I don't know if I really listened to the lyrics, but I just enjoyed this one. And oh, I did. No, I did like the lyrics because I wrote they spent all their lyrics budget on this one song. Because at first I thought, oh, this song's gonna suck, but then no, it was good. And I was like, sorry, I preemptively hated your lyrics, Hannah. They were good. Her competition, her her recital or competition song was fun. At the end of the competition, Hannah and Dean get back together. Did I say Hannah and Dean? At the end of the competition, Hannah and Garrett get back together. Oh, okay, okay. So we go back to Ali and Dean, and Dean tells Hannah, "Hey, I didn't do the assignment because I like you." And Ali was like, "No, because I did the assignment." And Dean has a look on his face, but I saw online that some people think he was upset because Ali got with someone else, but I don't really think that makes sense because Dean himself said like he's Six Flags, and everybody knows like his thing is hooking up with people, so he's gotten with probably like he's gone with a lot of people, so I don't think he would be like, oh, you got with one more person, that like blows up our relationship. I think he was probably more like, oh, wait, do you not like me the way I like you? Like, were you genuinely just doing this for fun? Like you didn't see it as anything more than fun. So that's what I understood it to be. And so Allie's like, yeah, I hooked up with somebody else. And then the person she hooked up with is his name is not Carter St. Clair or St. James or anything. I think his name is Hunter Davenport, and he's the guy Dean hates. And which is funny because like the whole time we've never seen Dean hate anybody. Dean's just like a peaceful, goofy golden retriever. So seeing him angry was so like I was like, I didn't even know you had that personality trait. Like I didn't know you had that. Sorry, there's like something outside that wasn't moving, but I thought was moving. Um, Seeing Dean angry, I was like, did you just unlock a new personality trait? Like, how can you be angry? You're my little goofy. I'm so stupid. So anyway, one thing I found funny was like Dean specifically is like, I hate this Hunter Davenport guy. No, 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 we can't bring him to our team. And nobody cares to ask him why he hates this guy. I'm like, that's our little goofy golden retriever. Like, if he hates somebody, it must be for a valid reason. Somebody ask him why. And then like Dean gets up in Hunter Davenport's face and is like, "Why are you here?" And then Hunter's like, "I heard your hockey team needs saving." Blah blah blah. And Dean's already pissed that he hooked up with Ali, and Dean's pissed that he's gonna be in his hockey team. So Dean just swings on him, and they start fighting, right? And Jules records this and starts filming this, and that pissed me off because for me, I was like, "That's over the line." Because we all kind of pretended that it wasn't creepy that they were filming the boys' relationships and turning it into content for their like social media page. But they saw the impact of getting into a fight on Garrett's like spot in the hockey team. So why would you be the no, I'm not saying that nobody else would have filmed Dean and Hunter's fight. Well, why would Jules, someone who's like a sibling to them, why would they be the one to film that and put that out there? You know what I mean? Like Hunter and Dean are fighting and that can negatively impact their career and it's a stupid decision by both of them, right? Jules did not have to be the catalyst to film that and share that and put that out there. And I was just like, this shows that Jules does not care that much about the boys. You know, for me, that was it. It was just like, if I'm doing something stupid, I hope my friends don't film it and put it out there for the world to see and judge me. So, Jules seeing the boys do something stupid and still deciding that they would film it and put it out there, that pissed me off a bit. Especially because it's like, they know that it's a decision that both Dean and Hunter will regret tomorrow morning. That pissed me off. Oh, one of my question is Hunter Davenport replacing Garrett in the team? Is Garrett off the team? Is I thought it was a 4 game suspension. Ugh. Okay, so that was my recap of episodes 1 to 8 of Off Campus. I love the series. I had so much fun. My favorite character, Dean. My favorite ship, Dean and Allie. My favorite man, Garrett, just because he's a mature king and I love him for that. He's my most favorite changed character from the book to the TV show. So yeah, I had so much fun watching it. I would rate the show like a solid 8 out of 10. What would you rate the show? Oh, also, if you have any TV show or movie recommendations or even book recommendations for me, please let me know. I would love to hear from you guys. I had so much fun. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.